Well, an old friend of mine was next for the TNT title, TV title. A lot of T's in there. Sammy Guevara against Bobby Fish. And they did a nice little package on Bobby so we would be introduced to him. He was a heel. Sammy was doing babyface stuff. Fish foiled a springboard and cut him off for the heat at one point, and Sammy, for whatever reason, just popped up and fought back. So Fish stopped him again, but there were 2 heat spots. They go to the break, come back. He's getting the heat on fucking Sammy. Missed a senton. Sammy made his comeback. I wrote, why do they have to do superplexes off the top instead of the second rope? It's more dangerous and it looks phony. You can get up on the second rope and suplex or do something off of, to somebody off of that without a lot of obvious assistance and balance and cooperation from your opponent. But when you're 2 men trying to both step up on that top rope with nothing to hold on to except each other, you are telling people that you're helping each other stay up on the top rope. And I wish somebody would just tell all these people that. But anyway, Fish hit a couple of big moves. He got a couple of 2 counts, and then Sammy ducked a kick and hit his finish 1, 2, 3. That was a good, solid match. There was no comedy. There was no nonsense. And it got Sammy over, and it's nice to see Bobby has landed in another spot after his unceremonious dumping out of NXT because he's a good talent. So this match was good and solid and professional. And then comes the afterbirth. What'd you think about your boy Sammy first?
Well, he's not my boy. Let me start with that. He's Jericho's boy. And I thought...
You've always liked Sammy.
I've always thought he was good. There are other people there I'd be elevating before Sammy, to be quite honest, but I think Sammy's good. I think the fans are really into him. I wasn't crazy about this match. I like Bobby Fish a lot better in tag matches than I do in singles matches.
I can see that, because they had more of an established team when he was with O'Reilly, and they were very good.
Yeah.
But anyway, hey, after the first match, small favors. It was serious. It made sense. They didn't bury the referee, and they didn't do anything obnoxiously phony. Until the afterbirth. Because here comes Dan Lambert and America's Top Team, and they attack Sammy. And Junior Dos Santos is out there. And they are now breaking, I don't know if breaking in is the right word, but they're bringing Junior Dos Santos into AEW to have a wrestling match. The problem is, Junior Dos Santos is one of the major names in mixed martial arts. As long as he doesn't do anything physical, people have in mind that he is a badass on a world-class level. But since he can't work, and he got in here and gave Sammy phony ground and pound for no reason, then you've exposed that Junior Dos Santos can't fucking work, but he's trying, which means he's a phony. A phony, a big fat phony, which negates the reason to bring him in, because he's a shooter. The people think he's real until they see him do phony shit. They saw him do phony shit here because he can't work. And then Fago Del Solo comes in, and they get more bad heat. And then finally, Jericho's music plays. And Jericho and Hager hit. And they have a phony fight, because we know Hager is a mixed martial arts guy, and he's also a wrestler. His work isn't great, but it's better than most of the MMA guys because he's got some experience at it. But we were expected to believe that Chris Jericho and Dos Santos went toe-to-toe, and Jericho came out the better for it. Chris Jericho's a 50-year-old pro wrestler. Junior Dos Santos is a 30-something-year-old former. Wasn't he the UFC champion?
I believe so, yes.
But you got Dan Lambert, you got Paige Van Zant, you've got, I believe, Sky and the other Paige were in there, and you've got Junior Dos Santos and somebody else, and Jericho and Hager hit and cleared the whole mess out of the ring. So already these shoot fighters, these UFC MMA stars who are supposed to be the reason why you're using them is because people think they're legitimate. you put them in a phony looking angle and punked them out. So what's the fucking reason from here? Now you've just got green, inexperienced workers. They've already got those on the roster. They didn't need to import any. Lambert does a promo from the stage or from the ramp and challenges Jericho to a 6-man on the 15th next week in Miami, but nobody in the building was listening to him. They were booing over him because they don't want to hear it, and that's great for a heel, but they didn't hear it. And then Jericho tries to reiterate what he said, but his mic quit, so he threw that down, got another one, and accepted the challenge. And this was the shit segment where everybody got to say shit 5 times. So, again, the reason for using mixed martial artists, UFC names, is because people think they're real and what are they going to do to my favorite wrestlers? When you involve them for free, unsolicited, just let's get them physical, and they show that they can't work and they're not going to shoot, then you have negated any reason to have them around, which there is a reason, a big one, because they're real and people know who they are. Junior Dos Santos is a bigger mainstream sports name than anybody on this fucking show except for Danielson and Punk, probably. God damn it. Did I explain the reason why to use shooters well enough that you understand, Brian, that the people understand why they just shit the bed on this first thing?
I think so, but I think there's numerous reasons why they have been shitting the bed with this feud. I don't think that's the only one.
But I mean, just because at first when Arlovsky was there and it said the MMA guys wouldn't get involved physically, I figured it might be contractual things. They can't get hurt in case they got a fight coming up. But the threat of them being around was because they're legitimate was something. But now they're getting them involved and they're not showing them to a strong advantage. They're just having them get the useless heat that nobody knows how to get anymore, where they're all just tackle somebody and throw shitty looking punches. And now the people have seen that they're obviously not going to shoot and they can't work. So they've negated the only reason for them to be there. Anyway, Tony Schiavone was in the ring with the new TBS title belt since we're moving off TNT. But apparently now is the TBS title belt going to be only for women?
Yeah, they said it was a women's belt.
Okay, then they've got a TNT title because I guess Dynamite is going to stay on TNT. Or not Dynamite, but Rampage. It's going to stay on Friday night. It's going to stay on TNT. They're going to make the TV title on Dynamite for the women. They've already got a women's championship. Now they're going to have another women's title. They don't have a women's division that's good enough to carry this, but also the point of derision and jocularity on the internet, the way the TBS logo is written across the face of the plate, it looks like it can also say, if you put somebody's mind on this, you can't unsee it after you think about it. The Hose title, HOS. Have you seen those pictures?
I completely agree with you. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
You cannot unsee it. It looks like TBS is written as HOS in the font that they have used. So the new women's title is the Hose title.